Welcome back to Built by Design. Today we're going to be covering components, bodies, and assemblies and what that all means. So we're going to start off by creating a new file and a box. I'm going to spare you the details for now, but the biggest thing that you should notice here is that when we are creating a box and throughout all of the push-pull geometry creation that we have done thus far in the series, we have been creating new bodies, which by definition are pieces of solid geometry. So where bodies sit is they sit right under here in this tab, and that means that they're associated directly with the project file. So if I have two bodies, let's make another one over here. So if I have two separate bodies, they're separate bodies, but because they're nested in the same file and they're nested within the main project, they are stuck with those more or less. So they can't be moved around. They're not independent of one another. They're essentially considered one part as the program thinks it is. So what you can do is you can come over here, open up a body, and it'll select it out here, and you can create new component from body. So now this is a component. So what components do is they're independent parts. They can move independently of one another and then be joined together with one another using the join function and tool. So here I'm going to turn this other body in. I'm actually going to delete it and then make another body based on extrusion so you can see that as well. There we go. So I'm going to make the component over here new component instead of new body. So now these are both components. You can see that they sit right here. If I want to create another body onto a component, I have to activate that component. So if I'm going to create a new body right now, it's going to nest under the sketches. So let's say if I really wanted to put a cylinder right here as a part of this part, and I go through and I do this, say, okay, join, yeah, that's what I want. But, so now it's gonna join. But if I go back and I do it the other way around, where I create cylinder on here, and instead of join, I select new body, okay? That body is going to exist here. It's not going to be connected with this part. But if I take the body and then find this part, which is this, I can actually drag this body right into there. And then now it exists within this part. So when I move this part around, they're connected and considered one piece. So that's a little bit about how components and how bodies work. So what we're gonna do now is how do they connect? So go and you can see the little discs where the connections are gonna exist. Hover over them. There we go. So there's a couple different options. The first one is rigid. What this is this is a rigid connection that doesn't move. If you want some movement, there's quite a few other options. So we can do revolute. There's also really cool little animations that come along with all of this. Slider, which will slide right along the axis. Cylindrical, which is slider and revolute in conjunction with one another. Pin slot, which will move around a specific slot. Say you have a slot and a pin you want to do, you can easily do with that. Planar goes on a selected plane. And ball acts as it's a ball joint, a ball connection. So for our purposes, we're going to actually select revolute. And what we can do with this is now you say, okay, now I want to move this around. I want to play with it. It's not acting like it's animation. Well, what you have to do is you have to have one of these components be what they call grounded component. So what you do to make that a grounded component is you right click it, you click ground component. So what this does is this component you can't move anymore, but the other one is free to move and actually give you the little angle right here underneath, and you can move it all around as much as you want to this. If you have, say you have another box that's connecting to this, so we'll actually do that real quick. Nope. Gonna make this a new component. Go over here to Assemble. Select the corner edge. Select this corner edge as well. And then revolute. Click OK. So now what they will do is they will actually interact together. So if you have two pieces, they will be in conjunction to each other and both move at the same time. So if you move one, like this top one, it's going to affect the other depending on how your movement is and where you're pulling from. So this is really useful in being able to express what a arm or different end effectors will be able to do on your robot, and express your ideas, as well as then be able to navigate space and see if you will be able to actually reach the heights that you'll want to and fit within the frame constraints that are given for that year. This was Components, Bodies, and Assemblies. Thanks for watching.